Hi, my name is Alexander Vito Fornino, but you can also just call me Alex Fornino, and I am running for Congress of the United States. So here is my website. I decided to narrate the bulk of it. I'll be in this video. I'll be going over the front page and then the about page, and then the next video, probably in about a week, I'll be going through the issues page. So let's get started. I'm a fighter for South Floridian families. That is the crux, the focus, like the core of my campaign. That's what I'm about ultimately. So you'll see the details later on. So here I am in one of several main locations, famous locations in the district. The district stretches, I think, from Key Biscayne and South Miami Beach, over west to, I think, to the Ronald Reagan Turnpike, and then south to Cutler Bay. So it's fairly large, but it's not really rural. It's mostly suburban. So there's that and that whole thing. So I will fight for American workers, seniors, and the democracy we hold dear. Although I'm not really sure we can really call this country a democracy, but let's stretch. We can stretch the truth a little bit. We can accept that it's not quite there, but we'll work on it. That's part of my platform, to have a lot more democracy. I have a whole amendment, a big amendment for that, but that's for the next video, for the issues video. So I am an Italian Cuban American, and I'm also German and also Ukrainian Jewish. So it's a little ironic, but that's just how the world ends up being. Here I am, with heritage that includes people who fled pogroms, and then people who, enacted such things in Germany. But ultimately, I am not the people who came before me. I am result of a lot of things that I will include in my about page. For example, one part of my childhood was watching PBS and learning about characters sharing with themselves, sharing with each other, and I thought, wow, that's pretty darn neat. That is very nice. So I'm also a certified public accountant. I've been so since 2018, and I forget the exact number, but if you really want to know, I'll maybe mention that. I'll probably add that to the website at some point, but it's like number 58205 or something. I don't quite remember. But yeah, I am registered in Florida in the DBPR, I think it is, or DPBR. So yeah, I am an accountant certified. I'm a Democratic candidate for U.S. Congress in Florida's 27th District, DCCC. I think that's Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, red to blue target. So basically, the Democrats who are in charge of picking which races to run through are thinking, this is pretty good, a pretty likely flip. I'd say it's reasonably possible. Maybe if there's a big campaign behind it for the nominee, it's pretty likely, fairly likely. More likely in 2028, I'd say, especially if Miami-Dade County Mayor Danielle Levine Cava runs. I'd say it's a likely flip, for sure. But for now, Here I am. I'm a candidate running to be chosen to stand up to reckless Republican Representative Maria Elvira Salazar. I believe in making needs affordable, expanding democracy, and fostering peace. I believe in, let's see here, as Florida's 27th District's next congressman, I plan to be a champion for the values Miamians, Floridians, and Americans alike hold. I mean, I don't know if I'd be very likely to be, but at some point that's a goal of mine to be congressman. I think. So my priorities include workers' rights, seniors' rights, women's rights, and international rights. I will work hard to lower costs of living, create good family wage paying jobs, specifically through, or mostly through, a Green New Deal, a big one that changes quite a few industries and thus, gets people to work, making our economy, our country more resilient to the effects of climate change and all the natural disasters that come through it. So that's a big part of my platform. I will advocate for common sense gun legislation. I will empower labor unions, fight for women's reproductive freedoms, and bring local and global peace while replacing our oligarchy with more essential democracy than ever. So I'm building a strong campaign. I intend to build a strong network of grassroots volunteers in every neighborhood to flip this district blue in 2026. And I myself plan to visit every neighborhood in these 2 years. And you can see my stances on the issues. Again, that'll be next video. I'll narrate that next video. Here I am with Elijah Manley, very well dressed. I did not expect him to be so well dressed, but there you go. He knows what's what. And he's a candidate for the 20th District of Congress for Florida, Florida's 20th Congressional District. I think it's North Fort Lauderdale and some areas west of that. Kind of large, actually. Probably larger than my district. And here I am on X, or Twitter, as you may call it. I am taking Republicans seriously, and I got my website. So let's check out the About. Here I am doing the U for UM. That's my alma mater, as I shall mention very soon. So, I will fight for you in the U.S. House. I'm Alex Vito Fornino, an Italian-Cuban-American and Democrat for U.S. Congress in Florida's 27th District, DCCC Red to Blue Target, running to defeat MAGA Representative Maria Elvira Salazar. My middle name, Vito, means life in Italian. It's similar to vida in Spanish. And the lives of my fellow 27th District residents and other Americans are my bottom line focus. The first thing I learned about our government was the powerful presidency, followed by lessons about the world wars in middle school. The death tolls were unbelievable. President Bush's decision to bring that kind of carnage to faraway countries was horrifying. Over the years, my distaste in war continued. I registered to vote as a Democrat in 2008 because of Senator Obama's stand against Bush's wars. I couldn't vote for him, and a funny thing about voting, my first vote was actually for Marco Rubio for Senate. I regret it, and later on, I think twice I voted against him when he ran for re-election, and that didn't work, and now he's Secretary of State, and he's something else. He's rough. See, at the University of Miami, I graduated in 2014 with a bachelor's in business administration and in 2015 with a master of accounting. I became a certified public accountant and started my career. Later on, I'm like after the next thing that's happening here. But then an email came from Bernie Sanders titled "Our Campaign Platform: Combating Climate Change, Free or Inexpensive College, Medicare for All." I was shocked, amazed, and enticed. These were what our country needed. But then he called himself a democratic socialist. I was shocked, disturbed, and eventually intrigued. Socialism without concrete checks and balances can result in waste, fraud, and abuse. While seeking an understanding of that, I got clarity about our economy that fit the knowledge I got as an accounting student. Our capitalist economic system lacks fairness even more in our workplaces, as investors choose directors and officers, including CEOs, whose goal is to maximize profit for those investors. Workers get less, consumers pay more, and environments get shredded more than necessary. That bottom line shows mercy only when people stand up and fight back against the wealthy bourgeoisie. Now, because of Donald Trump and Salazar's cuts of programs we rely on to ease our struggles, I've decided to run for U.S. Congress to fight back. My bold agenda, a potential blue wave, and my messaging on clarifying how horrible she is will make this race competitive and a proven DCCC red to blue target. Salazar voted multiple times against working families. She voted against the American Rescue Plan Act, the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, and the Inflation Reduction Act. The American Rescue Plan, to be specific, was the third stimulus for the COVID crash. And as opposed to the other two, the previous two, the American Rescue Plan was more focused on helping individuals, families specifically, with higher child tax credit, $1,400 checks. I mean, they could have been $2,000, but you know what? $1,400 is a decent, significant amount. And there was a few other things in it. I think there was also bailing out states and local municipalities, so that was nice too. What Salazar does stand for? Massive cuts to Medicaid, SNAP, i.e. Food stamps and credits, and denial of student loan forgiveness in the reckless One Big Beautiful Bill House Republicans recently passed. Should probably maybe change that sentence. It's clear enough, I guess. I will fight for Florida's working families and family wage paying jobs, labor unions as a champion, as I will be a champion for prevailing wages, health care for all, restoring women's reproductive freedoms, common sense gun legislation, our senior citizens by protecting Social Security and Medicare, a great public education for our children, ending systemic inequities in our society, and our democratic institutions. Trump and Salazar are literally tearing apart the fabric of our democratic institutions. Trump is breaking laws and dismantling the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division, the Department of Education, and the National Institute of Health, and he is even politicizing the Department of Defense, to name a few. Every remarkably good piece of our nearly 250-year-old democratic republic is in Trump's crosshairs. Enough is enough. We need a plan that puts the working class in control of our economy to the benefit of the 2/3 of us who struggle to pay for what we need. I ask for your support and vote. Thank you. and may God bless America.